This rocky shore in front of me is prime habitat for a trout to be hunting along there.
Fishing to me was in my early childhood in a dinghy catching flathead at a possum bay, and that was a very special memory.
Maybe they just don't like my fly. My two concerns with crossing South Cape Rivulet was to cross the right way up and B, to film the crossing.
Here in Tassie we have an untapped wilderness, and that's the beaut thing about this state. There's things or places in this state where people have never been or never seen, and in this day and age that's pretty remarkable.
A lot of people will walk through New River Lagoon, not a lot of people will fish it, so it's quite unique in that way. A lot of people go past it but won't actually stop in there for a trout fish and a fly fish, and that's something which this place is special for. It's the southernmost and some of the most remote trout fishing you can encounter in Tasmania. It's a unique and special place. There's no other place like it in Australia or the world. We've got unique environments which stem from rainforest to button grass, glacial mountains, deep rivers, wild coastline. Tasmania's the southernmost coastline. It's exposed to the elements. We get hail, we get rain, we get all sorts of weather. And that's the thing about this place, is that there's very few days which are beautifully clear sunshine. It's a challenge to get there, and it's got some beautiful places too. We're seeing the southern ranges as we're walking in there. We're going through tea-coloured rivers, crossing them, and that's quite a challenge at times itself. So I suppose we're just looking at going into this place which is out there. The walk was challenging. We were carrying quite a bit of weight, including camera equipment and fishing gear. We're also carrying our general survival stuff. We also hit it at a time of year which was one of those unstable times. Springtime is generally one of the times in Tasmania where you get fickle weather.
Tasmanian weather, any time of the year. Strong westerlies, strong southwesterlies. Usually as fronts move through, just ahead of the front, strong northerlies. Showers, this year in fact one of the wettest winters on record. It's not often you can get a window of opportunity exceeding 3 or 4 days. Next stop, Antarctica. So Tasmania, the Southern Ocean and Antarctica. I can't emphasise the winds any more than I have already, particularly south of Tasmania. For example, Mateship Island, our weather station of Mateship Island, 174 km/h winds just prior to them setting out. A day into their trip, the winds have abated 110 km/h.
Planning a bushwalk is a really important thing. Before our trip, we were up at Marty's house and dishing out our food, we were weighing it up, making sure that we had, not carrying too much, but enough to survive, a bit extra left over. So we really took as much as we could to make the trip as comfortable, but also as achievable as possible.
I was reading a Australian Geographic about the South Coast track about 3 weeks before the trip, and saw that it was mud lovers' paradise, and that most people came out of the track not really enjoying it, ready for a nice bed and breakfast somewhere. It concerned me a little bit.
Conditions were against us, with winds gusting up to 100 kilometres an hour, large waves pushing into the lagoon. We persisted in the atrocious conditions, but for no result.
The funniest moment of the trip for me was when Ollie was crossing South Cape Rivulet.
Marty's idea to take the boat was a good one in some ways. I think we all thought it would be a bit of fun at least, and it could have been a chance to get us across a river if it was swollen and we did hit that storm surge tide, which we did.
Ollie jumped in his little Explorer 200 and decided to cross the mighty South Cape Rivulet.
About to try to cross South Cape Rivulet on our mission to New River.
Tell you what, it was a bit of it made my heart beat a few steps faster than it has for a long time. Now?
Yep, go now.
It was a golden moment.
Ollie's rowing his little heart out.
You gonna float down to those rocks or in there? Ollie! Ollie!
I think when the rope let go, that was when it really sunk home that maybe I'd be stuck on the other side while those guys sat there and waved at me for the rest of the day.
It was nice for us that there was definitely a window of opportunity once that storm surge came back and we could actually cross the South Cape Rivulet. I don't think that we knew the actual challenges of what lay ahead of us. That first section was pretty easy on the boardwalk, but once we got off the track and started gaining in elevation, that was when it became pretty tough. And then once we started slogging through all the button grass, which I was referred to as mutton grass the whole time, I learned that it was going to be a pretty arduous journey. There's another window of opportunity at Granite Beach when we all looked out over the cliffside, seeing the waves crash against the actual cliff that we had to cross.
The wind was howling. The creek that was flowing down the cliffs onto Granite Beach was just being swept straight back up in our faces.
The best moment of that section was when Marty looked at the three of us and said, "I want all of us to be together on this. Who wants to go?"
For the whole trip to succeed, we needed to get past Granite Beach there and then. We had to make a decision.
The next day dawned clear. I woke with 100 questions running through my head. Would the whitebait be running? Would the lagoon be flooded? Would we even catch a fish? These worries soon evaporated once we were underway, walking along the beach in the sunshine with my mates.
Peter Dombroskis, the renowned wilderness photographer, once said that when he went out into the bush, it wasn't to get away from it all, it was to get back to it all. I'd strongly agree with that, because it's that connectedness with outdoor places and the environment that we're losing in modern society.
I love travelling into the remote areas of Tasmania. There's something special about that, and I love the fact that I can make my artwork about that too. By documenting our experiences, I feel that we've got the chance to really show people who don't have the chance to get there, and to show them what it is like. And I suppose giving people an eye and a place into that is an important thing, to open up a world which not everybody gets to see. I've got a passion for the Tasmanian bush. I love experiencing it with my mates and going out there and being in this place where you experience the elements. And I suppose that's what drives me to look after the place. And I feel that we've got a chance to actually look after a unique part of the world. And I suppose that's what I'm trying to do with my photography, is to talk a bit about how we should be looking after and conserving places like Tasmania, because they are places where there is true wilderness left, where there's places which are wild.
As enjoyable as all this was, we'd come to fish. The lagoon couldn't be too far away. Pushed through one last stand of blackwood, and there it was, laid out before me, a sight I'll never forget.
Let's go take a walk and see if we can catch one.
That first evening of fishing at New River Lagoon, I was lucky enough to catch 2 fish. Couldn't believe it.
Number 2. How's that, Marty? Yeah.
I'd plugged away for a good while and nothing had happened. Marty ended up hooking onto 2 fish and bringing them in, and was feeling a little devastated at that point. And, was in an area where there was a bunch of reef and rocks, and I kept snagging up on that. And after a few casts of doing that and kind of getting out of the zone of fishing and being in touch with the line, I ended up hooking onto a fish.
Oh no!
My heart exploded. I went to set the hook and got to see that fish come up, turn, and it was gone just like that. And felt like there was going to be some tears left in that campsite that night.
Tragedy!
Yeah, it was a tough moment for me. I ended up getting through it and ended up plugging away and ended up getting a good fish in the end, which was nice.
Oh yeah! Great fish!
Nice.
We'd all worked so hard to get there, and we finally got what we came for. There were trout in New River Lagoon. They were good size. They fought hard. Barely scratched the surface while we were there. It's a 10-kilometre long lagoon. We were there for 2 days.
Oh, that just put 3 days of an arduous journey on cloud 9. Now it's easy from here on out. Got my 1 fish.
Some Polaroid at 30-40 metres away from me. I'll easily be out. You're right.
No one's coming to the party. Next time we come here, we're going to land a helicopter right there with a heap of better film equipment, a range of rods, some inflatable kayaks. We're going to mission up to the river mouth at the end of the lagoon.